of simultaneous linear equations. So we have linear equations. Solution of simultaneous linear equations. So it's like this: a11 x1 plus a12 x2 plus a13 x3 is equal to b1. Okay. So you can see the screen, isn't it?
Yes, sir, we can see the screen.
Okay. So that means we are talking of simultaneous linear equations. So you know that how to do this. You know that using the determinant, but you have to understand this from computer. I mean numerical analysis perspective. Also, be aware of some iterative methods. So there are three unknowns: x1, x2, x3. So you require three equations also. So second equation is second row, first column, x1, second row, second column, second row, third column is equal to b2. So in other words, there are three equations because there are three unknowns and will form a matrix. So therefore, the coefficient of the equation, for example, say 3x1. So this 3 corresponds to this a11. So you are generalizing it. And similarly, third row, first column of the coefficient, third row, second column of the coefficient into x2, third row, third column into x3 is equal to b3. So you know how to solve this. This kind of algebra is already known to you. But in engineering applications, particularly when you are doing numerical analysis, it will involve a large number of elements. Say you are analyzing a structure or a say say aerofoil. So there you have created a number of points where you want to analyze the, say for example, the flow or the stress or the voltage. So there will be so many elements corresponding to this. There will be so many unknowns. So huge matrix, very large matrix is the signature of computational engineering analysis. So you are taking only three elements, but if you are talking of computer aided engineering analysis or say CFD or say FEM, everywhere large matrix will be appearing. So the matrix solution of matrix equation in the form of this matrix will be very important. Anyway, we start with small. So this equation, set of equation, you know that you can form like this. You know that matrix multiplication. So row into column. So your unknown is x1, x2, x3, and this is b1, b2, b3. So all these three rows of elements you have to write. Like last will be 3, 3. So a1 into x1, a12 into x2, a13 into x1 is b1. Similarly, a12 into x1, a12 into second row, the second, I mean, you take the second row and this column. So a21 into x1, a22 into x2, a23 into x1 will be b2. So you know that row into column. We cannot go back into that. This is, we'll assume that you know already this. So you can solve this by determinant. But the solution by determinant, the standard methodology will take a lot of computing operations. So there are better methods which take less computational time. Again, you have to be aware of something known as CPU time. If you are doing again CFD or FEM or computer aided engineering analysis, you want low CPU time. You know, CPU is the computer processing unit. So it should be able to solve fast. So using determinant for a very large matrix, it will take longer time. Then there are some methods which will do it in shorter time. And also there are certain iterative techniques also. So that is why instead of the standard method you have already learned in algebra, you know that you can invert the matrix and directly solve. But that requires a lot of operations and takes a lot of CPU time. So even the method we'll discuss, they also take a lot of time. Actually, if for example you are running a FEM program or CFD program, a major time is consumed by this matrix operations. So matrices will be handled for inverting, then finding the transpose and different type of calculation. So this is why it is important to learn about this. So this sort of equation we also can write like this: A into X is B, or you can say B. So this is the A matrix, this is the X matrix, and this is the B matrix. So this is very not very new. You already know about this. Okay, but the method of back substitution. So there is the method where we do it by back substitution. Let us we'll show some with some example. Clear. Okay. So one way of solving this actually is, if for example, if you are lucky, let's say let me talk this by an example. Say 2x plus y plus z is 5. Then let's say y plus 2z, let's say y plus 2z equal to 3. And let's say we have say 4z is equal to 1. So if I have such a system, you see that here it is a 0 into x, here it is 0 into x, 0 into y plus like this. So this sort of equation, what is the form of this? If you do it matrix, it becomes 2 1 1 0 1 2 0 0 4 is equal to 5 3 1. So this sort of matrix, when the last row there is only something like this, except the last element, if all these are 0, life is very simple, because you know now 4z equal to 1. So 4z equal to 1, so z equal to 1 by 4. So now you put it back here and back here, then you can solve between x and y. So you can see that if you have a matrix like this, where the diagonal elements, below the diagonal elements, these elements are 0, then you can solve the equation from bottom. Like bottom, you input the value of 4z, then you know 4z is equal to 1, so you solve for z. Now here also you know the value of z, so you eliminate x and you find solution for y. Then finally you get the solution for x. So if I have something, if how do I clear the screen? Clear frame, right? Right. So if I have something like a11 x1 plus a12 x2 plus a13 x3 Now 822 x2 plus 823 x3 and 833 x3, like this. So then how do you proceed? As I said, then this implies, last line implied, x3 is equal to b3 by a33. So that means if the diagonal elements, below the diagonal elements, these elements are 0, then you can start a process which is known as back substitution. Back substitution means you operate from the bottom and substitute. First you have x3, you substitute this x3 here, then you find the equation for x2 and x1. You know now x2, then if you know x2, you know x1. So this way, I'll send you some material. I'll try to send you some material also, but you can also search, because this is a very well-known method in many books. This process of solution of matrix which we are discussing is known as Gauss elimination. We'll discuss this. We have not yet started Gauss elimination. Now we are discussing Gauss elimination, but this is not Gauss elimination. This is, we are doing back substitution, because if these are 0, if I know a33 and b33, x3 is known, then if this is 0, if this is known, x2 is known, then so if you have a matrix where the below the diagonal these elements are 0, you can solve by back substitution. So do the process of Gauss elimination actually involves transforming the matrix. So what is Gauss elimination? That is, transform the matrix to a upper triangular matrix. So this is important. To do Gauss elimination, you transform the matrix to a upper triangular matrix. Then you can do like this. From you have a, because this has become 0, so you straight get x3, put x3 here, get x2. So any matrix you get, you have to convert this to a upper triangular matrix. So that means, so how you really do this? So say x plus 2y plus z, we'll write some arbitrary number 5, 3x plus y plus say 2z is equal to 9, x minus y minus z is equal to 5. So you see that there is no 0. There is no 0 here. The matrix is 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2. I don't know what kind of solution this will have. I will not also solve it. But the point is, the way it is written, there is, the elements are not 0. But to solve by Gaussian elimination, I must make this below the diagonal is 0. So just to completion's sake, if these elements are positive, I mean non-zero, this is called upper triangular matrix. And if this is these elements are non-zero, then this is called lower triangular matrix. So these are all you already know. But now how to convert this to this so that there is diagonals in 0 form? So basically, first you will actually, you see that matrix you can operate row by column wise. So what you will do, you will first eliminate x in this, eliminate x here. So that means you obtain this 0 here, 0 here, 0 here by proceeding step by step. First eliminate x in all rows, then eliminate y in all the except second, everywhere you eliminate y, then you eliminate z. For example, suppose you want to eliminate x here, what you can do, you multiply this by 3. So multiply this by 3. So 3x plus 6y plus 3z equal to 15. And now you take this line, multiply this by 3. 3x plus y plus 2z equal to 9. So now if you subtract, you can eliminate. This becomes 5y and this becomes plus 2z is equal to 6. So therefore the new matrix is, you have already eliminated this. This become 5y plus
So
2z
plus 5z, I think.
of, oh, achha, this we are subtracting. So 3z minus this 15 6, oh sorry, this is 6z. We are, what we are doing, 3x plus this was 3x plus 5y plus 3x plus 6y plus 3z is equal to 15, and this was 3x plus 5y, na? No, this
So
was y.
3x plus 5y.
3x plus 5, no, this was originally y. So that means we multiplied by, this is y and 2z, this is 2z. So 2z is equal to 9. So if I subtract, this become 5z. 3z minus 2z, you see this is originally 2z, it was originally y. So 3z minus 2z is z. So this becomes 5y plus z. 5y plus z is equal to 6. So now you have a zero element here. So this way you modify all this. So again you, like x minus y minus z, you eliminate x, just this minus this. So x minus x is 0. 2y minus minus y, this becomes 3y. Z minus minus z, this becomes plus z. 5 minus 5, this becomes 0. So you see, from all rows, if you do this, all x are removed. Now up, so only now what will happen? Only first row that x is there, and all other rows there is only y. So now you will repeat the operation. Now, and so that all y's are removed. That means this y is removed. So then only one z remains. So when one z remains, you can directly solve this. Then you can go on back substitution. Okay. So this is called Gaussian elimination. I think Gaussian elimination you already completed in programming, or you have not?
No, sir, we did not do this.
Okay. So anyway, there are a lot of
Sir,
materials.
this is the same as Gauss-Jordan elimination, or it is something different?
There is some method little difference. So I don't recall exactly at this moment. But Gaussian elimination is the means the basic thing. Then there are a lot of modifications. So Gauss-Jordan elimination is one of them, I guess. So
So Gauss-Jordan,
basically,
in our syllabus, sir, it is a Gauss-Jordan
in
elimination.
this numerical analysis syllabus,
Yes, sir.
where it is, I think, is there a new syllabus for you? I do not see it in the website.
So the syllabus that we have been shared means the syllabus that we have got, in that it is written Gauss-Jordan. So solution of linear simultaneous equation, direct methods using Gauss-Jordan elimination, matrix inversion.
Okay, so Gauss, I think Jordan, I think Jordan, there is some improvement over this, but I'll check and I'll tell you, because I
Yes,
know
sir.
this.
And sir,
This
in
Gaussian
iterative method, it's Jacobi's method that
Jacobi's will
mentioned
come
in
later.
syllabus.
Anyway,
Okay, sir.
so mainly this is known as Gaussian elimination. So what we are doing, again I am telling that all, say any equation with x, y, z, only with 3 we are writing, we must have this form and z. So let's say if 5z is equal to 10, that means I know z. Then say 3y plus 4z is equal to 15. If I know Z, then I can solve for Y. Then if I know, say, 7x plus 6y minus Z is equal to say something. If I have already solved Z from this thing, I have now solved for Y. And now if I know this, I can solve this X. So any matrix with A1, all this thing, all these distinct element, what you must do, you must make below this as 0. So this diagonal will remain and then these elements remain. So that means you have to have this form. So how you make this 0? As I said, that by just combining some simple linear operations. For example, say 3x plus 4y is 5 and x minus y is 7. So you can eliminate, suppose you want to eliminate x, you multiply this by 3, multiply everything, then you deduct this, so then you have eliminated x. And matrix operation allows you to return that. That means you have a sum equation like x plus y is equal to 4, and so it is 1, 1 is 1, 1, and here it is 4. But you convert a new equation, say 2x plus 3y is 12. So this, instead of this, you can inject that value, that new equation. So that means you go on the substituting the term and this eliminating the term, so that ultimately it has a, all the diagonal elements are remaining. I mean, below the diagonal it is becoming 0. Then you do what is known as back substitution. Okay. So then that means you, from the bottom, you know the last element, then you go on injecting this, and finally you get this thing. So basically this this has to be done through a programming, because there will not be only 3 into 3 element. Suppose if you are solving a, see if you are solving a heat transfer problem. See if you have a heat transfer problem, so you maybe have divided the plate like this, so many elements. So maybe this side you have 100 element, this side you have a 50 element. So there will be 100 into 50 matrix. Okay. So there will be 100 rows and 50 columns, 100 rows and 50 columns, and there are 100 unknown like T1, T2, T3, T4. So T1, T2 like this. So some coefficient into temperature is equal to something. If you take the numerical heat transfer, you will come to know this thing, or finite element or whatever. That partial differential equation will be converted, but then depending on the number of element, there will be a large matrix form. So therefore, you cannot do it by hand. You have to do it through programming. For example, for an industrial problem, there are millions of nodes. Of course, hundreds and thousands also we take for a simple problem. So we are talking of a pipe flow problem. So let's say the pipe is, so diameter is d and this side is 20d. So diameter, this side we may take 50 nodes and this side maybe 1000 node. So 1000 into 5, at least 50,000. So that means there are 50,000 equation. So that means there is very large matrix. And for practical problem or complex problem, there are millions and trillions of grid. For example, if you take up weather prediction, so weather prediction involves again numerical method for Navier-Stokes equation, and to solve it, you require a very large. I mean, you have to solve a very large system of matrix equation. So that is very much an integral part of computational engineering analysis. So now some special thing here. If some element is 0, then it can create problem. So like here, like say some element within the upper part, if originally some element is 0, that can create problem. So you have to be careful about that. And also there is something known as this because of the chance of this some element being zero or near zero in the system of equation, what we do, we so you have an equation like x 2x plus y plus 3z and 7x plus y minus 2z is equal to 5 and say 1, like this lot of equation. So it is a practice that the larger element, because 7 is greater than 2, so we take this to top, because because that ensures that there is not there is less chance of occurring a near zero value. So the larger value of x, so if you have a number of rows and if the highest coefficient of x is here, we take it to the top part and bring it here. So that way we try to make it like this, that element value here is more than the value of this. So that is something, some trick which is useful. But we'll go to iterative method, what is known as Jacobi iteration, and we do that by giving some example. Let's say you have an equation 6x plus y plus z is equal to 20. X plus 4y minus z is equal to 6. X minus y plus 5z is equal to 7. That means you have a matrix like 6 1 1 6 1 1 1 4 minus 1 1 minus 1 5. This is the this is the other part xyz, and the answer is 26 7. The product is. So you can solve directly by determinant, solve by Gaussian elimination, but there is also a method, iterative method, because sometimes for a large system, iterative methods works faster than iterative methods is maybe faster than the direct algebraic method, because the method we are discussing, this is non-iterative. Non-iterative means you are not going on building the solution. Iterative means like Newton-Raphson method. We take some value x0, then we go to new value x1, we go to the next value x2 and measure the change. If there is no more change, it is satisfying the solution, we accept that. So that is iteration. Okay, it is also a sort of trial and error, but in a sense it is when we say that the change is less, this is more scientific than trial and error. So just not arbitrarily, but we measure the change in the value and then systematically we change the next level of value. So iterative method matrix, there is a way of solving direct solution for nonlinear equation. We cannot deny that nonlinear direct solution is possible, but even then it is understood that iterative solution sometimes for large problem iterative solutions will work better. Okay, so how do you find the iterative solution? You see, you express x, y and z as three separate equation only for x, y and z. So that means I just erase this. So what I told, express in terms of x, develop equation for each unknown. So from these you can write x is 20, x is from these, x becomes 20 by 6 minus y by 6 minus z by 6. And from these you express y. Y is so 4 6 by 4 1.5 minus 1/4 x, because this x goes to the other side, and plus z plus 1 1/4 z. And from these now you express z. Z equals, this is 7 minus 1/7 x minus 1/7 x. No, this is 5z. So 1 by 5, 1 by 5x and plus y by 5 plus 1 by 5y. Of course, you don't write 1 by 5, you write 0.2, or you calculate this like 3.333, because fraction you cannot operate with a calculator or computer programming. I am just giving this for just writing this only the value. So formally you should write this 20 by 6 means 3.33 like this. So that means you have developed equation for x, y and z. Okay. So now what? So you see, you can write this equation like this. So very often you can actually, that means you have a equation like this. If you write in the matrix form, it looks like this. It can have a, you can write like this, that 0, you see that coefficient is 0. You see that here there is no x. So for x 0, for y I need a better clear screen. Because if I go to new page, you cannot see the formula. So that is the problem of online work. Right. So you see, you can write like this, that I want to see that a matrix is 0 minus 1 by 6, because this there is no x. So 0 minus 1 by 6 minus 1 by 6. Then here you see x has a minus 1/4. So minus 1/4, then 0, y has 0, z has 1/4. What I am trying to do, you will be clear. And z is here, for x you have minus 1 by 5. minus 1 by 5 and the other two are this is also z, minus 1 by 5 minus just a minute. Just a minute, this pen is not coming. Oh, this is y. So this is 1 by 5, 1 by 5, 0. Into xyz plus this is 7 by 5. You see. Now you see that these and these are the same, because here I have got an expression x is 20 by 6 minus 1 by 6 minus z by 6, y is 1.5 minus 1/4 x plus 1/4 z. Now z is 7 by 5 because z is this side, so 7 minus x minus y. Why I write like this? Because you see now we have an equation that xyz is equal to again xyz times something. Is like in a language of computer, you see that the matrix x is equal to some coefficient a into x plus some constant. Okay, because you see that 0 into x minus 1/6 y minus 1/6 z is equal to 20 by 6. Okay, then no, plus 20 by 6 is equal to x minus 1/4 x, so minus 1/4 x, 0 y 1/4 z